Welcome, everybody. This is the Gemini live reading. So, I'm back to doing my monthlies, so thank you for joining here. And, okay, so welcome. So this is for Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising, or if you have a Gemini placement that you're working with, for example, if you have Venus in Gemini and you are trying to work more with your Venus, then this would be the reading for you. Or if you are trying to connect with Mercury more or work with your third house. So you always do readings for what you are trying to focus on in your life. All right, so Geminis, it's been a while. Thank you for your patience. I'm so happy to be back. We're going to be doing things a little bit different here. I'm going to be doing my readings live here on Instagram. Eventually, I will get a schedule set up, and then the extendeds are going to be for Instagram subscribers, and they will also be posted on YouTube. For people who are Eagle and Phoenix members, you will still be able to access those on my website as usual. For those of you who are Instagram subscribers, I am bumping the price up sometime next week. So if you want to get the super low price of $2.99, now would be the time to do that. So I'm just giving you a little heads up. And let's see, any other announcements? I think that's probably it. Thanks for tuning in, Geminis. Let's see, this is what came out in the cleansing ceremony. We had Judgment in reverse, Seven of Wands in reverse, and the High Priestess in reverse. So this was telling me that there is this aspect of just like trying to not be judgmental, trying to be overly nice. And you're actually going away from your own authenticity because of it. So with Judgment in reverse, it's telling me that you're trying not to judge other people. You're trying to kind of be this kind of like all-seeing, all-knowing third-party observer of everything. And really trying to hold back any sort of judgment because you think that that is what is being, quote-unquote good in a way. And Judgment in reverse can also be that you're not making decisions, or you're not taking decisive action and making some sort of judgment call. With the Seven of Wands, and Seven of Wands, like in reverse, it can be because maybe you're lacking some sort of courage. I don't mean to sound rude by saying that, but I guess maybe that's my own Gemini energy in reverse. Like, it is because you're lacking courage in some sort of way, because maybe you think, oh, well, if I'm going to speak my truth and make a judgment call about this person or about this situation, then other people are going to judge me. And guess what? That is just the nature of reality. And, you can't hold back your own judgment and pretend like you don't judge in some sort of way. And it also feels like because you're trying to avoid some sort of conflict. It's definitely like a people-pleasing behavior. And with the High Priestess in reverse, it's actually making your intuition a bit off. It could also be throwing off your psychic senses or your psychic gifts. So that's what happens, right, when you're not in your authentic nature. With Masquerade using Skim Attack, again, Masquerade is like a masquerade mask. So it's like you're masking what your heart is actually feeling. Instead, you're just staying on the surface and, having this sort of, smile, even when that's not how you feel. And with Graveler here, double-edged sword, it is a double-edged sword. Maybe you're coming off as, oh, she's super nice and doesn't judge, but inside you are actually judging. And you're actually judging yourself for judging this other person and then putting yourself down and then faking what you're being on the outside. Again, it can be that kind of, Gemini on the low vibe end can definitely get the two-faced sort of personality, but it kind of feels like that is actually what's happening here because we do have fighting energy. And that's the thing, is like you're fighting your own energy with this double-edged sword by masking how you truly feel. And the double-edged sword is in the heart chakra, again, because you're trying to come off super loving and super non-judgmental, but that's not truly how you how your heart truly feels. And because you're doing that, you're actually out of the vibration of love, because you're out of the vibration of authenticity. And we have Skitty using charm. So again, it feels like you're just trying to be charming. And then we have the evolved form, Delcatty, coming out. So these came out together. So that is telling me you're going through some sort of evolution process. And with Energy Salon, you might want to literally go to an energy salon, get some energy healing, get some energy work, or even a massage, go get pampered and things like that to help shift your energy back into authenticity. Specifically, you might want to get some heart chakra work done. So we are just going to do a see what pops up reading. So if you are familiar with my readings, this is where we just see what pops up because it's been so long. Moving forward, I am going to have voting in my Instagram stories after I've completed everyone's monthlies, so that you can vote on what you want next month's reading to be. So it will be for the collective eventually. I'll get to sign by sign when we get those numbers. So Gemini, I hope you're doing well. Feels good to be back. Let me know what you think about this new vantage point and the way I'm doing my readings. I would really love some feedback from you guys. All right, let's see, Gemini. We're going to do see what pops up, but let's just see what's going on in your current energy here. Coming out stuck is the King of Wands. So this is your own masculine energy as it relates to your creative abilities, your kundalini, your energy, how you're utilizing your quote-unquote magic to manifest your reality, so to speak. This could be a particular person. It could be a masculine. Let's see. It's coming out stuck. So it seems like your creative abilities are a bit stuck, literally, because of this lack of authenticity in some sort of way. 5 of Cups in reverse and 2 of Swords. So this is telling me that this is probably a particular person that is still kind of stuck in your energy sphere. And maybe it's because of this person that you learn to put on a fake mask, basically, and pretending to be nice and pretending to be non-judgmental. I'm feeling because you were afraid that they would leave if you actually spoke your truth. So there can be some abandonment wounding along with this people-pleasing here. With the 5 of Cups and 2 of Swords in reverse, it's telling me that you have all the information that you need in regards to this situation with the 2 of Swords in reverse. Prior to now, you may have been wondering or you needed information, but now you have it. Or maybe it was that you were locked in a perpetual guessing game and you finally came to the realization of okay, I can't be I can't be constantly questioning. Constantly questioning about a particular person or situation is an answer in itself. It's, mental space abuse. So you have all the information that you need, but with the 5 of Cups here, it's telling me that you haven't gone through the grief process, or you haven't been able to let go of some of the sadness here that is hindering you from flying into this next era here. So let's see what's going on in the light. Okay, we have Zorua using Dark Edge, Ralts using Smack, Sotolego using Rush In, and Volcarona Shimmering Scales. So with Zorua Dark Edge, this is a dark type, which is telling me that there's some shadow things that have come to light. And it kind of reminds me of that double-edged sword that we were talking about. There is this dark aspect to the situation. And Zorua is a fox spirit. Fox spirit is known for trickster energy. So I'm feeling that this King of Wands that is stuck in your energy, they might have a lot of Sag placements is what I'm getting, is that there was some sort of deceptive energy. Likely that's why, you didn't have information or things were kept from you. But yeah, you're just having difficulty sort of mourning it and letting it go. It says to protect themselves from danger, they hide their true identities by transforming into people in Pokemon. And so I feel like this is part of the shadow that that you have, that you're moving through, is it's talking about to protect themselves from danger, they have to pretend to be a certain way. So this may even originate from the original masculine wound of the father figure, because we have Ralts, which has to do with the inner child of, you know, having to pretend to be a certain way in order to protect yourself. So let's say, you know, someone is treating you very poorly, someone's making you sad or not giving you information, but maybe they come back around and you have to pretend to be happy and things like that in order to keep yourself safe from this person. So it seems like that is sort of the core wound. And again, it does feel like this has to do with the inner child. This is it says smack, so maybe there was some like physical abuse in the past, but more so this is a psychic smack. So I feel like you're finally realizing like, oh my God, this really goes deep into my childhood, and it's sort of kind of, you know, giving you a swift kick in the bum psychically in order to do your healing. It says it's highly attuned to the emotions of people and Pokemon. It hides if it senses hostility. So again, this is like, you know, people who think that they're empaths, which not saying that you aren't, right? Not saying people aren't empaths, but usually highly sensitive empathic abilities are, you know, activated when you're a very young child, and you have to be hypersensitive to those around you in order to protect yourself. Usually because there is, you know, an abusive person around you. Usually it's parents or caregivers, and you have to be highly attuned to their emotions so that you know how to adjust your own in order to sort of circumvent abuse in some sort of way. So if they're angry, you know, you have to put on a smile and a little happy dance, and maybe you clean the kitchen or something in order to stop them from being abusive towards you. So I definitely feel like this goes pretty deep for you. With Sotolego here using Russian, it does feel like there is this aspect of rushing into relationships with the shimmering scales here. I always take shimmering scales as Libra energy because they are the scales. And so right now it looks like you're protecting yourself from rushing into relationships, which is good because maybe you have noticed in the past that you've sort of rushed into things, and now you're learning how to pause because you're recognizing your own shadow in regards to maybe a lack of authenticity in some sort of way. And again, maybe it's like, you know, people who come in, maybe you don't really like them. Maybe it's like a dating or a friend, and you're just afraid to tell them how you really feel about them because of, again, you're very attuned to their emotions. So instead of speaking your truth towards them of like, you know what, I don't really like you. I don't want to be friends. I don't want to be lovers or whatever, because you're so afraid of what they're going to feel. But the truth is you're neglecting how you really feel. And that's the core wound, is you've had to neglect your own needs since you were a small child, and that's the way it's playing out. But again, it looks like you are protecting yourself from rushing. It says, in writings from the distant past, it's called by the name the beast who devours the sun. So again, I feel like, you know, in the past, likely having to do with, you know, from very early age, your energy was sort of taken away by this person. It could be, you know, a parent or caregiver, that they literally like took the light out of your life because they had no light of their own, that they forced you into darkness, basically. And a lot of adults do that to children. It says, when volcanic ash darkened the atmosphere, it is said that Volcarona's fire provided a replacement for the sun. So again, there's a lot of stuff about the sun here, and obviously we just had the eclipse, so a lot of this stuff is definitely coming to surface. So it's like this person in the past, they literally would devour the sun. They would take your light away, and then they would give a false light, right? It's talking about a replacement for the sun. There is no replacement for the sun, right? That's literally the definition of false light. So this person brought so much darkness to you, and then sort of fed you some sort of false light of, again, like if it was a parent, it would be like, no, you can't play, you can't have fun. You know, what would make me happy is if you did the dishes, kind of thing. So it looks like you're going through some intense understanding of some core wounds here, Gemini. Let's see what's the shadow. Yeah, I heard like this is pretty dark. With Dusclops, confused, right? It looks like your third eye is pretty confused right now because maybe it's hard for you to put all these pieces together and you're not necessarily, like, it's, how do I want to put this? The reason why, we saw this in the cleansing ceremony too with the High Priestess in reverse, is the reason why things are not, like fully becoming clear with your psychic senses is because there is that lack of authenticity of not fully speaking or vocalizing your truth. We also have Masharna using forewarn and fluffy dream. So it looks like there was a warning that came to you in a dream. And maybe you're a little bit confused by what it was or what it is. But let's see. It says, anyone who dares to peer into its body to see a spectral ball of fire will have its spirit stolen away. And I feel like that is part of the confusion of the inner child, is that, you know, in the past you were so confused that literally it's like your spirit was stolen by this person who was just giving you commands, right? It's like this Volcarona, this false light energy, it's like, right, Volcarona, they were like a volcano. They were explosive. You had to walk on eggshells around them. This is definitely, you know, textbook narcissistic abuse. And it was through the heart chakra, right, which we've already talked about what is going on there, and the root chakra, which is your sense of safety, your sense of stability. So it's like they would destabilize you and make you feel unsafe. And the solution is love me like this, right? Do this for me. And then you'll be safe. Then I'll be calm. Then I'll be this. So a lot of, yeah, just a lot of abuse that's really coming to the surface here. It says, when the mist on with the mist of its forehead, it can create shapes of things from dreams it has eaten. And that's the thing, is like when you were, even when you were in the womb, Masharna is the dream Pokemon, but it definitely looks like a fetus, right? And so this was even probably happening to you while you were in the womb space. So likely this person was doing this to your mother as well. So it's really like imprinted on you. And it seems like because the father figure or whoever this is, this parental figure was, or even maybe it was the mother sending that energy to you as a fetus of like, you know, you have to be this way in order to make me happy. You know what I mean? You have to be this kind of kid, or, you know, it's kind of like when parents never lived out their own dreams. So they want their kids to live out their dreams, but really in so controlling them, they actually like eat all the dreams of the child. So I definitely feel like a lot of this has to do with sovereignty, and, you know, you didn't have your sovereignty to do what you wanted to do, to move forward in the way that you wanted to be. Again, it's the King of Wands that's stuck. That's your own masculine energy when it comes to creating your reality, manifesting your reality, utilizing your energy, following your passions. And it's stuck because, again, it seems like there is some sadness that still needs to be released. But you are recognizing, you know, just exactly what had happened in your childhood and early developmental stages that is causing this. So let's see what else wants to come up, Gemini. Whew, this is a pretty deep one, Gemini. All right, let's see, Gemini. We have the Four of Cups in reverse and the Seven of Cups in reverse. So even though you're going through, you know, something that's not really that easy, it's definitely sort of like a deep-seated thing. You are trying to look on the bright side of things. You're trying not to be pessimistic. It feels like the pessimism days are over. And again, this does seem to be behind you, other than the fact that the core wounds haven't been fully healed in a way. Because the Four of Cups represents like, you know, here's a new opportunity coming to her, but she's so focused on these empty cups that she can't accept this new cup. And so because it's coming out in reverse, again, I do feel like you're trying to look on the bright side of things. You're trying to recognize like, oh, okay, even though this happened, like I did gain X, Y, and Z from it. So I feel like you're trying to be a little bit optimistic as you're going through this like sort of shadow work. And with the Four of Cups and the Seven of Cups both in reverse, it feels like you're being very realistic about things. You're not being fanciful about what it is that you want. You're, you don't have your head in the clouds. It's not like you're dissociating from the situation. It seems like you are very grounded into reality. And the only thing here is that it feels like your imagination kind of took a hit from when you were a kid. Kind of like that, the believing and the fancifulness and things like that. So I do feel like, even though it feels like you are being very realistic, I also want to say maybe some of that childlike wonder is lacking here, or like it feels a little bit like limited thinking or limited believing or limited feeling is what I want to say. Because the Seven of Cups is like, if you can dream it, it can be so. You know, maybe not all at one time, but there could be some limiting beliefs here that are coming in. So it could also be all like hindering your ability to like manifest, materialize. Let's see, what's the light energy here? Well, we have Muna, Shiftry, and Rotom. So Muna using focused wish. And again, that's what the Seven of Cups is, right? He's wishing for all these things. They might not all come at once, but they can. And Muna evolves into Masharna here that we had. And Muna using focused wish. So it feels like the wish that you were... What do I want to say? Okay. Very interesting. So there was a specific wish that you kept wishing on. And it feels like maybe you got some sort of forewarning in a dream about it. It says, this Pokemon appears before people and Pokemon who are having nightmares and eats those dreams. So it feels like right now, basically the way that things are happening is that you're kind of like collapsing the nightmares of the past, of the way that your reality used to be. And because of that, it's like the energy is very fertile to move towards the dreams that you actually want. But it seems like your wish is like, it almost feels retroactive is what I want to say. What is this? This is a very interesting energy, Gemini. I can't quite put my finger on it. It feels like you were wishing for a particular thing for so long, likely while your life was kind of in dismay, and it's actually coming back around now that you're not wishing for it and you're sort of being very grounded. I'm sure more about that is going to come through. Let's see, Shiftry using Roll Up and Rotom using Electric Mischief. So it looks like some dark energy is going to roll up this month, and Electric Mischief, this could be someone sending you like an electronic message or something. I always take Shiftry as like a dark fae, basically. So it could be someone that you've had a soul contract with that taught you a lot about your shadow in some sort of way. Because this is, again, another dark type, so it does represent some shadow energy that's rolling up. It says, by flapping its leafy fan, it can whip up gusts up to 100 feet per second that can level houses. So that gives me definitely like tower moment energy here that's rolling up. And then Rotom Electric Mischief. So again, there could be some mischief happening as it relates to some sort of electronic. Obviously, we're going through Mercury retrograde, so there can be some things in the household. Like this is showing like an oven, but it really can manifest in multiple different ways. But again, this could be also someone sending you like a message that kind of brings this darkness to the surface in some sort of way. It says its body is composed of plasma. It is known to infiltrate electronic devices and wreak havoc. So it is a plasma spirit, and so I would definitely be protecting your electronic devices and things like that, because it seems like someone who wants to like come in and electrically transfer some chaotic energy through like your device into your own electrical system, right? Like your nervous calm system. Let's see, what's the shadow here? But the thing is it's not even this person is what I'm getting. It's a wish that you had like a really long time ago that's now coming back. And it's an emanation of your own shadow. So for example, if you were wishing for this person to do XYZ or whatever, like it's coming back. Okay, let's see what's the shadow here. We have Nidoran male come along and Pidgey using growl. So yeah, it definitely feels like a masculine energy that's coming back, and it even has Mars here. So it's like someone who it's your own masculine energy coming back around, but it might be coming through as you know, the way that your energy is, you project out to the universe, which is reflected back to you. So your own masculine energy can actually be coming back to you as a man, or you know what I mean? Like a man in your life that's teaching you this lesson again. So it seems like Nidoran male, it seems like they're going to come in and say like, oh, come along with me. So this may be someone who's like, oh yeah, come with me here, or let's go here, or let's do this. So be very mindful. It says its large ears are flapped like wings when it's listening to distant sounds. It extends toxic barbs when angered. And so again, this is someone, right? It's like their ears are open, so they're listening. And so it seems like the wish has finally hit their ears and they understand what that is. And then it's talking about the toxic barbs that are expelled when angered. So again, it kind of reminds me of the energy I was picking up here with the King of Wands, of like someone who puts out toxic energy when they're angry, and then it was your job to sort of remedy the situation so that they aren't angry. Again, kind of walking on those eggshells is what it gives me, like the toxic barbs. And this person may even say like, oh, come visit me in this city. It kind of looks like he's overlooking a city. So there could be some actual movement with the King of Wands in this deck is on a horse. It gives me very Sagittarian energy. Mars is here, which is the planet of movement and action. So I do feel some sort of movement. Pidgey using growl. It says it's docile. It is docile and prefers to avoid conflict. If disturbed, however, it can ferociously strike back. And so I feel like this is you. And that's the thing is like, right, it's like they're putting out these toxic barbs and things like that. And you prefer to stay docile and avoid conflict. And that's that people-pleasing energy that's leading to inauthenticity that we hit upon during the like the cleansing ceremony. And it's talking about if it's disturbed, it can ferociously strike back. And I feel like this is you and where you're at right now of like, okay, this energy is rolling up again. Do I avoid conflict and act with inauthenticity, or do I ferociously strike back with authenticity? Because it seems like this person was really abusive. So it's like, okay, are you going to confront an XYZ, or are you going to sort of roll over and, you know, let them sort of control your nervous system because you're afraid to judge, you know, like what you were seeing in the cleansing ceremony. All right, I saw past life relationship. I'm going to, even though I'm not necessarily feeling like this is a romantic thing, obviously the core wound, it seems like comes from a caregiver or a parent, but it does seem like it was influencing your love life for some time. I did see past life relationship, and I will remind you that just because a relationship is from a past life doesn't mean that it's a good one, right? Like, think about all the relationships you have in your life now. Maybe you have a mortal enemy, right? That's also a past life relationship. So, you know, when you feel that karmic familiarity, you need to figure out what is in the soul contract that I have with this person. Are they teaching me what love is? Are they teaching me what pain is? I always like to remind people to stay away from suffering soulmates. Some soulmates will only teach you how to suffer, so be careful. All right, let's see what the romance angels want to say. Heart-to-heart conversations. Honestly discuss your feelings with each other. And so it does seem like this requires an honest discussion. And again, starting in the cleansing ceremony, there was that energy of like, you're trying to come off as super loving and non-judgmental, but you're actually betraying your own truth in your heart of the actual way that you feel about them. It's like you're trying to just be loving towards them, likely because you want them to be loving towards you, right? So a heart-to-heart conversation is absolutely necessary. And I saw make the effort, so it is worth the effort here. Codependency. Addictions are affecting your romantic life. Yeah, this is textbook codependency after narcissistic abuse. So, codependent is, again, like narcissist and victim complex is very common. Codependence, right? I was picking up on the early childhood life of like a parent or caregiver who never lived out their dreams. They have no light in their life, so they're stealing yours. They're pushing you into darkness. You always have to walk on eggshells to know how they're feeling and sort of circumvent their anger. And that is usually how codependence starts. And again, that tampers with your own electrical system, your nervous system, right? It like controls you from the solar plexus. So it does seem like a heart-to-heart conversation is needed about the codependent behaviors and addictions that are influencing your relationships. Let's get a message from Mother Moon for Gemini. We are going to go into the extended and see more about this. It kind of feels like the energy that is going to be moving into the extended has a lot to do with Pidgey, about being docile and avoiding conflict, or, being disturbed to ferociously strike back. So, again, because this person is going to be like, hey, come along, come with me sort of thing. And it's up to you to just sort of go along to get along, or if you're going to stand up for yourself and be authentic. So it kind of feels like that's what we're going to be tapping into. And if you are an Instagram subscriber, you can just go ahead and go to the subscriber area, and we are going to do the extended. If you're an Eagle and Phoenix member on my website, the extended is going to be posted within the next 24 hours. So let's just see the message going to the extended for Gemini. A new start is coming in reverse, and the energy is gaining momentum. So what this is telling me is that the energy that's rolling back up is gaining momentum, and maybe you can feel it sort of coming. And with a new start is coming, it feels like this is more advice that you are being guided to not allow this to continue, to not allow this person to have another, start in your life, to not let them back in. It definitely kind of feels more like a warning here. All right, let's do one more. We're going to take a look into the Black Mirror to help with the shadow work here. Whoop. Woof. Triumph of Lies. Going right to the King of Wands energy. So clearly this person is just a liar, right? They're a liar. They've lied to you about whatever it is, right? That was the Two of Swords in reverse. Is like, they've lied, they've deceived, or they have omitted the truth, right? That sneaky energy. And this is also a reflection of your own shadow. You were not being true to yourself. You were not being authentic with how you felt, what you needed, how you truly wanted to respond to the situation, because you were so concerned with, again, circumventing their anger and constantly responding to their feeling, right? You're hypersensitive to how they feel, that you had to mask your truth to just make them happy. And so that's where it's a reflection of your own shadow. And so, of course, if you're in the wounding and the shadow of hiding your true self in order to make other people happy, then of course you're going to attract people who hide their true selves and are liars as well. So like I said, we are going to head to the extended. If you're not already an IG subscriber, you can you subscribe. I believe in the live there should be a little button. If you're watching on YouTube, you can go ahead and click the link in the description box below. And I will see you there, Geminis.